Alrighty, here we go. Let's give people time to file in. Maybe I need to put the tripod a little higher. Sound check here. Hi folks, how's everyone doing? Sorry, we got off to a little bit of a delayed start, some technical difficulties, but here we are. All right, I'll just folks a moment to file in, so I'll just wait a second there. Let me just get the bar all situated and set up here. All right, actually I'm gonna turn the bar this way because I think we're gonna be doing mostly facing today. Okay. Got some fuzzies here. All right, let's keep a little comment. Alrighty then. Okay, so we're here. For those who are joining us for the first time, I am Christopher Charles McDaniel. I'm a company artist with Dance Theater of Harlem. I'm also the social media coordinator, and I'm excited to be back with you. I taught last week and we had a great time. You guys gave us some really great feedback, so thank you for that. Keep those comments coming. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and like our channel. We'll be posting a lot of exciting stuff over this next coming period of time. Yeah, so Ballet for Everyone. You know, last week I shared a quote from our brilliant artistic director, Miss Virginia Johnson, and I will share that again before we start, kind of like, you know, how we get our stuff started. But I am really enjoying seeing how you all are reacting and responding to these classes. My colleagues have been teaching over the weeks, and it's nice watching how they're interacting, and it's different because we don't have, the normal way that we interact where we see a student and we go up and we give a correction, or we see what they're doing, and so I can't see you at all. So I'm going to trust that you're dancing with the most beautiful energy. For my class, I want to focus on giving you a sense of pride. I talked a lot about how I grew up at Dance Theater of Harlem as a kid, and Arthur Mitchell, he made sure that anyone who walked into the room was going to approach the work with what he called grit, which meant that that vigor, but he always wanted everyone to feel elevated when they left. And so that's what I'm hoping to do with you all tonight. I don't want you to feel stressed. We're gonna take it easy, but I am gonna try to challenge you a little bit. And let's have fun, okay? So the quote I shared with everyone last week was from Virginia Johnson. We were on tour in Arizona, and there was a question and answer session, and they were asking her about why DTH is important and what DTH meant to ballet. And Virginia, in that very brilliant Virginia way, just kind of, and then she said, Ballet is about the human spirit rising to excellence, and that belongs to everyone. And I promise you, I tried so hard not to cry, but that was just so poetic and so brilliant and so in line with the mission of Dance Theater of Harlem that Arthur Mitchell started, where he wanted to, of course, give people of color a platform to do ballet, but in general, make sure that everyone understood that the things that ballet can give you belongs to everyone. So we're gonna do that today. Ballet for everyone. All right. So I am going to use my bar to demonstrate. I just redid, I made a new floor here, so I'm still working through that. There's a little bit of a bubble in the middle that I have to fix. But let's get started. If you have questions or if something happens that, like if you need me to just pause or something like that, go ahead and drop a comment. I'll be trying to look at them every now and again over on my iPad so I can stay focused and in tune with you on this side, okay? Here we go. So every ballet class starts with pliés, but I like to start my class with reviewing the 5 basic positions of ballet. And I realized with this setup, you can't really see my legs and feet. So I'm gonna scoot back, and then I'll back my tripod up. But the first position that we use, let's move you all the way back there. There we go. And I don't have my pup Dexter is normally in the studio just like kind of tuning in, but he is playing with his sister. So anyway, first position that we use. So first position of the feet, our heels together, knees are nice and straight, okay? We always work in the turned out position. The legend has it that when Louis XIV started ballet, and I shared this last week, he did everything turned out because he had really beautiful calf muscles and he wanted to show them off, so he made a point of walking this way. So all the positions are turned out. So first position is here. We also have first position of arms. And I know there may be some people who are tuning in who may not be able to use the fullness of their legs and feet, so we'll also talk about our arms and our upper body a lot. So first position of the arms, middle fingers are touching. It's nice and round in line with your belly button. Second position, your arms are open wide, as are your legs. Third position of the feet, we don't normally use, but I think third position is our friend, especially on a Monday during a 9 a.m. company class where you don't quite feel like crossing all the way to fifth. Oops. Anyway, so then third has an arm up, opposite of the front leg usually. And of course they're interchangeable because there are 2 arms and 2 legs. Then we have fourth position. Arm is in the middle, one arm is in the middle and one is overhead. And that can be interchanged as well. Then we have fifth, 2 arms up over the head, framing the face nicely without getting our shoulders up. I often tell students and myself, when our arms go up, the tendency is to let the ribs come out this way. I call it barbecue season, so I try to keep the ribs nice and placed and not protruding out. So we don't want to have that extra curve in the body. We want to try and keep our core engaged and keep everything in a nice line, okay? So let's get started. The first step we're going to do is plié. Plié simply means to bend. So we're going to do nice series of pliés. So we're going to take demi holding onto our bar. We'll have 1 and 2. We'll have 3 and 4. We'll have a third one and we're up. And then we're going to take a tendus to the side, out. So you just point your foot and your toe, bring it to the second. Same thing, it's down and up. Knees are going over toes, so we'll do that 3 times. And then we'll take a tendus. Now we call this a rond de jambe. You're going to make a half a circle, well, a quarter of a circle rather. You're going to bring it right in front of your nose and then put the foot down to fourth position. So we're skipping third. We'll go down and up, down and up, down and up. Tendus again, this time straight into fifth, crossing. If you need to, you can most definitely go to your third instead of fifth. We want this to be a very natural experience, no forcing your body into positions it's not ready to go into. You know, we only get one body, so we better be good to it, right? So we'll go into our fifth or our third. After we've done our 3 pliés there, we're going to take that left leg out, point it to the side, and repeat that quarter of a rond de jambe into fourth, same thing, 3, pick it up, place it in fifth, 3 there, and then we'll go into first and we'll bring the foot back there and we'll take our arms down and go up nicely, just to kind of give our upper body some movement, okay? All right, this is not quite the way I wanted that to work with my arms being cut off, but if I stay far enough back, you'll be able to see me, okay? So I'm gonna try and DJ from my watch here, if I can. Okay, well, I'll get it started on this end, and then we'll get that going. All right, nice and tall. 6 and 7 and 8. Plie, down, up, down, and up, down, up, and tendus side. Bring it down and down to come up and down. So your plie wants to be nice and smooth. No rigidity in your plie. To your fourth and down. Every time we plie, we want to try to make the diamond shape with our legs. And I always say the bigger the diamond, the better. No one wants a small diamond. Tendus to fifth. And demi. Up and down. To come up. We keep our heels pressed into the floor. Our seat is engaged. Tendus side. Into fourth. Keep going. Demi. And up, down, to come up, down, and up. Last time, into fifth with the left leg, and down, to go up, down, and up, down, and up. Just right out to the side, back to first position. Now, arms are gonna go down. Brava is the preparatory position, and we're gonna bring them up, and we open bursting. Elongé and finish nice and tall. All right, I'm gonna give this a little more volume because I'm even having trouble hearing it, so I'm sure you guys are too. All right, where's my remote? There it is. Cool, so those are our pliés. Now, one of the things that I really love to try to impart as I teach is the finish. Arthur Mitchell always said to put a button on it. Whether it was an email, a speech, a variation, it has to have a finish. So anytime you finish the combination, you stand with pride. You know, I often try to count to at least 3 and then break. You know, when you're on stage, which is very often, sometimes you can be on stage and you finish something and the audience is clapping, or they're not clapping yet, so you're like, ooh, all right, well, okay, they clap, okay, now I can break. So get in the habit of finishing with pride. No matter how the combination went, whether it was good or bad, finish it, okay? Let's continue to move. Let's go into tendus. So tendus stretches our leg to its furthest point. So we're gonna go from first position. Now we're gonna go heel forward. Now, if you're a more advanced dancer taking this class, feel free to use one hand on the bar and bring the other one to second position. I'm going to do it facing because I want to show people who've taken their first class, this is kind of how we bring people in. So you have the option if you're more advanced, okay? We're going to start with a slow tendu from first, heel forward. 1 and 2. Then toes come back to first. 1 and 2. Toes come back to first. Third one, 1 and 2. Toes come back. Plie, plie, stretch the knees, knees, knees. Side 1 and point. In we go. Okay, so we'll take that 3 tendus and then a juicy plie. Okay? Remember, big, big plie every time. When we do the tendu, these tendus are slow. So I want to see the articulation of your foot getting there and coming back. I use the imagery when I teach of the West Coast versus the East Coast. When I lived on the West Coast, I noticed a lot of people were more laid back and calmer. They're like, dude, we're surfing. And they're just like a lot more relaxed. Meanwhile, over here in New York, people are like, I gotta go, I gotta get on the train, and they're like running into each other and aggressive. So California steps are, slow tendus, things like pliés, okay? Think of your plié as a noun, or not a noun, sorry, as a verb. It's what you do, okay? Plié is what you do, not a noun, it's like it's a position or an object, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot I'm DJing from here. And slow tendu, here we go. It's kind of loud. So anyway, front, 2, in, 4, 2. Out, 4, 2, in, 4, 2. One more to the front, cross your belly button, toes back. Juicy plie, down, 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 to go up, up, up to the side. It's out, 4, 2, in, 4, 2. Out, 4, 2, in, 4, 2. Slowly out, 4, 2, in, 4, 2. Juicy plie, and come up. Now toes go back, point, heel in, toes back. Back, point, heel comes in, big plie, down, down, down. Now one of the things you want to think about, keep your weight on your standing side. In. So you don't want to go over to this foot. Your tendu is not a kickstand. So even though you have your bar, you want to be on your own legs, and in, and juicy plie. Let's go ahead and do our other leg. Heel forward, 1. Point, toes come back. Strong core, chest is lifted. Good. We're leaning on our own power. We're not leaning on the bar this way. Plie, plie, plie. Stretch up to the side. We reach. Point. Keep breathing in and long to the side. In and plie, down, 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 and up. Toes back, toes 1. Point, lift to close. Now I'm taking it a little easy, but I hope that you're really feeling your inner thigh muscles working and wrapping the whole time. And plie, down. And up. Last time side. Reaching long. Point. In. You're almost done. Nice and long. Don't give up. And last tendu. Point. Bring it in. And plie. And let's finish tall. Where's that button? We stand with pride from our chest always. Here we go. Gotta stop that one from starting. Good. All right. So let me check in. I saw something pop up. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Miss Setri. So one of the other things that is very unique about the ballet technique is, of course, the turnout and stuff like that. But there's always this sense of elevation, like I said earlier. So as you're going through the combination, you start to get fatigued and worn down. But what makes you stronger is when you oppose that and you say, okay, I'm feeling weight down by this, but I'm going to go in the opposite direction and I'm going to pull up even more. But within pulling up, you don't want to go and hold your breath, okay? I always tell people, I am not certified to do anything if you pass out from holding your breath, okay? Now you're all in the comfort of your own homes, so that is between you and whoever you live with, or you and the good man upstairs, okay? So do not hold your breath, okay? Breathe, it helps your muscles, it's good for your muscles. Okay, speaking of good for muscles, I'm gonna prep my water bottle now because I didn't do that last week, and y'all remember I was all coughing mess for a second. Anyway, we're gonna continue on. So more advanced dancers, you can take this combination from fifth. My more beginner type folk, we're gonna do the same thing we did from first, but now we're gonna, get on the plane and come across to the East Coast, okay? What I mean by that is same combination, but we're gonna go a little bit faster and sharper. So we're going out and in, one count, and then back to Cali. New York tendus. I think we did this one last week. Nice and simple, but it's about the execution, okay? Same thing back, 3 and a plie, 3 and a plie, we shift that weight and we go with the next foot. I'm trying not to say left or right because you may be trying to mirror it, but like I said last week, the good news is you only have 2 legs. So if it's not one, it's the other. Praise the Lord, okay? So here we go. Nice and sharp. Remember, your tendu is not a kickstand, so don't go to the foot. You want to be rooted and grounded on your own leg, nice and strong, even though we have the support of the bar, okay? One last note before we start this. When you're holding on to your bar or your countertop or whatever, don't hold it like you're on a Harley Davidson, okay? You want to think, well, I like to think at least, that your arms are in first and then you just turn them over this way. Okay, so this way you're forced to really use your own power and not like this where you can just like kind of lean in, all right? All right, here we go. 6, 7, nice and sharp. 1, in, out, in, soft, and up, side, out, and in. It's out, it's in, and soft. To the back we go. Back and in, out and in, out, plie, side 1. Remember, we're always showing the calf muscles, like Louis XIV. To the other leg front. We invite the heel forward, and we make a diamond. Same thing side, heels are forward. Point right away, point, place. Now toes go back, even at a quick tempo. Toes back, heel in. Toes back, heel in, plie. Last time side, it's out. And in, out. And in, out, in, plie. And finish, even if the music's not done. And now we can rest. Good. All right. Continuing to move. Now let's learn a coup de pied. So we're gonna try to start to move the foot further away from the floor as we progress in the technique at bar. So we're gonna do demi-point 1 and push and down to first shift the weight of their foot and down and go. So we call this demi-point. Now if you were standing on it, we'd call it like a releve. It's still on your demi-point, and it's like, when you're younger and you're trying to get something in the top shelf. Last week I talked about the Chips Ahoy. You're trying to get the good stuff, the good cookies up there, so you go on your tippy toes. That's what that is, okay? So we're going tippy toes, full point, tippy toes, first, shift your weight. Tippy toes, full point, tippy toes, down. Let's do that 8 times. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we'll do again, okay? Nice and easy. I'll stay on this side of the bar for it, but you can do it facing. 6, 7, 8. 1. Point, demi, and down. Shift. 1. Remember, we keep the heels forward. So our knees should not go forward this way. Stay to the side. Demi, and down, demi. Full, demi, and down. Third one, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8. Oh, 1, 2, push the toes, demi. Last one, make it the best one. Active toes, down, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Arms low to finish. Good. So when I say activate the toes, sometimes we want to, like at least for me, one of the things I dread most in the world is to see a photograph of me in performance, and everything is stretched and lengthened, but then at the very end of the foot, the toes are not quite activated. So just like our hands, so do this right where you are. Your toes can activate this way as well. So sometimes we'll point our foot from the top, but then the toes are not quite completing the line. So we want to really wake up those muscles. So that's why I like to do that demi and push to really kind of get everything going, okay? All right, let's keep moving. Let's do, with that in mind, let's do Passé. Uh-oh, it's almost 7 o'clock. You guys know how much I love our 7 o'clock moment where we make our joyful noise for our essential workers. So, got a couple minutes. But anyway, so we're gonna do the same thing, but now let's start it from 5th or 3rd. So we're gonna go 1 and point, bring it up the leg, bring it down the back of your leg, which is different from last week, okay? Then other leg and 2, bring it up your leg, bring it down your leg, and shift to the other leg. Now, then we're gonna do it coming forward. Now, this is a little more complicated, but if we did the class last week, this won't be hard for you, okay? Now, we've done this going up our leg, right? And then we come down the leg. Now the goal and this is a passé, we don't want to let the hip lift, okay? So we want to try and isolate that. So we want to just let the toe move, pressing that knee to the side, and bring it down without a hula dance, okay? Now we've gone that way, of course always inviting the heel forward. Now, to the back, we have a really cool trick that we use to do a proper coup de pied. And this wonderful trick I learned teaching at the Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet. So when you're in 5th position in the back, or 3rd position, whichever way, the way to get to a proper coup de pied is to think about an imaginary friend named Tony, and his last name is Heel. This is what we tell the kids and they eat it up, right? So you go toes back like a proper tendus, right? Toes back, windshield wiper. Toes back, bend the knee, and then the heel attaches. Okay? This way you avoid the sickle city moment. We don't want to shape the foot like that. You always want the foot in alignment, okay? You want a nice, strong, straight line there. So the second you get into this position, it's no good, okay? All right, it's 7 o'clock. Hands together for the people. Right, even though it's a gloomy day out here in New York, but we're still very grateful for their sacrifice. But yes, continuing on, we have toe, knee, heel, and then you activate the toes to bring that inner thigh and everything coming forward, and then toe ball, heel to close. Same thing on the other foot, okay? So we'll do passé coming from front to back and down. 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 Then we start with the left foot. Coup de pied back, toe, knee, heel, up the leg and down, so forth and so on. So 4 on each leg, okay? Here we go. I'm going to come back to this side of my bar and start this with you. I wonder if you guys can hear them. Oh, there's some comments. I want to keep looking in to make sure that we... Okay, perfect. All right. So to make sure there are no people asking me to repeat the combination or anything like that. All right. We'll go with their joyful noise anyway. And my dogs are barking. 6, 7, 8. 1 and point and up, over, down to the back, toe ball, heel, nice and calm. Other leg, demi, full, up. So show the journey of that leg, and then it comes down the leg, okay? And if you need to, take a little step forward again. And point, and it's up. Keep pressing that knee side. Remember the hips are level. We're not hiking it up this way. Coming down, toe ball heel, nice and calm. And 1, point, get those tights dirty. And up and over, come down, Good. Now here we go. I'm going to turn a little bit so you can see. Toe, knee, heel, push. And up, and down, down, down the leg, close. Keep breathing. Toe, knee, heel, pop. And it's up. And down the leg. And toe ball heel. Two more, to the back. And a 1, 2. Lift it up. Up, and it comes down. Now remember, check in with yourself. Are you using your muscles to stand tall on your own? Are you relying on your bar this way? You don't want to do that. Nice and strong. Up, 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 and down, 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 and finish arms low. Standing nice and tall and proud. Good. All right. Ooh, that toe knee heel gets me every time. I'm like, all right. So I call it your butt thigh. It's where your butt meets your thigh or your seat, whatever you want to call it, your gluteus maximus, if you will. You have got to make sure that that muscle is engaged right at that meeting point, that you are lifted there so that you're not noodling out into your leg, okay? The more you pull up on that leg and get the weight onto the ball of your foot, the more you'll be able to move and the more you'll be able to stand strong and balance, okay? So you want to keep that in mind. All right, moving on, we're going to go right into rond de jambe. And I know for some people this is not, you're not getting a lot of steps in because I do a lot of talking, but I find that explaining why we do things is more useful than just giving a bunch of steps. So I apologize for those who want a little more dancing. There are other classes that you can join in afterwards, after you get all this info and learn the right way to use the muscle, and then you'll be even stronger for it. Okay, so we're going to move to rond de jambe. We have front and a side and a back to the first. Front and a side and a back to the first. Again, front, side, back to first. Now we're going to take a plie and a releve, a plie and a stretch. Starting from the back, we call this en dedans, away from the standing leg. So toes back, calves are coming forward, front and in. You want to try and make it a smooth circle that gets to all of those points. Reaching and round, round, and in. Again, plie, releve, plie, stretch. And then start the whole thing with the other leg. Inviting the heel forward, keeping the inner thighs working. If you get off to this leg, you're going to be in some trouble, okay? So you want to stay over that standing leg. Something you want to do for yourself is every now and again check in and let go of your bar or your counter, whatever you're holding on to make sure that you're able to do the work on your own, okay? Here we go. Let me find my rond de jambe music. And then we'll do a dégagé. Is this it? I don't think so. It isn't. Standing nice and tall, first position. Here I am. And now we shift the weight, heel forward. 1 and 2. Back into first. Now as you pass through first, you don't want to put weight on that foot. So you close the first, but you don't shift to it. Stay over that leg. And back to first, juicy plie. Big diamond, quick releve. Big diamond, stretch up to the back. 1 and side and front and in. Remember, you're inviting that calf and that heel forward every single time. And 1 side and front to first. On 2 legs, plie. Releve up, check in, see if you're on that leg. Starting other leg, heel forward. 1 and 2. 3, in on 4. And 1, 2, 3, in on 4. And last 1, 2, 3. In, juicy plie, down. 2, go up. Down, almost done. Toes back, 1 and side. tummies are nice and pulled up. Chest is still full of pride. And in. Last time. It's 1, 2, 3. In. 4. Juicy plie. Rub it up. Stay there. Let's just take a little balance. Surprise ending. I'm going to stop the music. Open your arms to second. Staying nice and tall on the big toe. Don't rock back to your baby toe. That'll be painful. Keeping a strong stomach. Arms are going up to fifth. Keeping the shoulders down. Keeping the ribs in the freezer. It's not barbecue season. We don't want all of that happening. And we come down because I was about to fall. Good, good, good. All right. So continuing to move forward, we're going to mix 2 steps. Actually, no, let's do our dégagé first, and then we'll do our fondue and frappé. This is a step that's taught universally. I call it the penguin step. Most people call it the penguin step. So you're just going to take a dégagé. So last week we learned dégagé, where we went tendu, we lifted it up, we brought it down, we brought it back in. This time we're just going to do the full version of it, which just goes out and in. We're just going to do it to the side. We're going to do 8 on the right leg, 8 on the left leg. Then we're going to do 4. Then we're going to do 4. Then we're going to do 2. Then we're going to do 2. Then we'll do 1 and 1 and 1 and 1. And then we'll start the whole thing on the other leg, okay? The reason it's called the penguin step is because it's just so sideways. And by the time you get to 1 and 1 and 1, you really look like a penguin, okay? But you still want to brush the toes against the floor, okay? Let me check in here, see what's happening. All right, okay. Some more wonderful notes from you wonderful people. Thanks again for tuning in with us. All right, let's see if this one is. I guess we can use this one. All right, here we go. Nice and tall. And 6, 7, we have it. Out, in, 2, 3, 4. Brush on the floor. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Shift the weight. It's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Keeping it nice and tall. And 8. Again to 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift the weight. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here we go. 1 and 2. 2 and 2. Let's go. 1. 1. 1. Can we go faster? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was a surprise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You gotta be ready. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 1 and 1. Breathe into your plie. And let's go all the way up again. And come down. Let's turn the legs in. Stretch your calf muscle. Get that over with. I know that was a complete surprise, caught you off guard there. And I know it's not a nice thing to do all the time, but sometimes you just gotta be on your toes and ready for whatever happens. You know, that's a cool thing about being an artist and being in live theater. I've been on stage where things have just gone completely wrong, and I'm like, I'm one of those people who likes to be almost over-rehearsed to a point where I don't have to worry about stuff on stage, and then I can feel free to do whatever. But sometimes things happen that you were not prepared for, and you just gotta be ready, you know? Be ye also ready, okay? Anyway, let's move on to fondue. So we'll start in our 3rd or our 5th, fondue and frappé. We'll have melt, so California step, fondue, and out, strike the floor, frappé, and frappé. So we actually want to hear that sound. Side, in, and frappé, in, and frappé. Fondue, back, frappé, frappé, just swing it front, swing it back, swing it front, swing it back. Bring it in, fondue, and back, and a frappé, fondue, side, frappé, frappé. Fondue, front, frappé, frappé, swing, 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 swing. Now we're there, we're gonna take our arms, because you'll be holding onto your bar. You'll take your arms off, try to carry it side. It's a little test to see if you're still on your leg, keeping that calf forward, bring it back, and then bring it to first, and then we'll stop and start the other side, okay? All right, here we go. Oh, I don't want to do a polonaise today. We don't want that one. All right, let me see if this is it. Okay, so 7 and 8. Fondue, front, and strike, and strike. Stay over that standing leg, sharp, sharp. Now when you do your fondue, you want to get it to a stopping point. Swing it front, swing it back. Front, swing it back, and big diamond. And freeze it, freeze it. Fondue, side, freeze it, freeze it. Fondue to the front, and freeze it. And we swing, nice and easy. Here we go, so if you're more advanced, take your arms up to 5th. Otherwise, you can keep your arms here. Carry it side. My super advanced folks, let me not keep the cursor there. If you want to go up to your releve, you can. And we close. Cool, so you have options here. For my more advanced people who are out there, you want to try it on your demi-point, and you want to take that around without the use of your bar, go for it. Pick your challenge, okay? All right, so let's go other side. What I was saying was that when you do the frappe, it wants to get to a stopping point so that it's not lethargic, okay? So the soft part is that fondue, and then the frappe is sharp. Okay, so bi-coastal. California, New York. Okay, all right. And last time with this one. 6, 7, and 8. We melt down to go out. And strike, and strike. Down to go side and a strike. And strike. Last one down. And a strike. Swing soft. This is a California romance. And a California, New York. West Coast, East Coast. So nice and easy, then sharp. And go. Go, go, go. Look, ma, no hands. Take them up if you will. Keep the calves forward. No barbecue season. Round, bring them down into first. And finish there. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's do one more combination, and then we'll do a couple more, just so we can kind of round it all out. Let's do, ooh, I'm sweating today. Y'all got me working. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's do a développé and a grand battement. So développé is like slow motion photography. When you see a flower blooming. Now, the thing with développé is that if you see different people do développé, you'll see it at different heights. Full disclosure, if you came here looking for a high leg, I am not the person for you. I am so sorry to break your heart. Everyone has their strengths, and high legs is not one of mine. But it's not about the quantity, you know, the height of your leg. It's about the quality. So, and that was one thing that Mr. Mitchell always taught. Anybody can, you know, do classical ballet and learn the fundamentals, and it's not going to look like the next person. So, while we're all in the privacy of our own homes, you can let your leg go to as high as it's going to go, or as low as you want to keep it, and don't feel judged about it, okay? Same for grand battement. Grand battement means a big kick or a big beat. But we do not need to have it all up by our face, especially if we're going to compromise the integrity of our upper body to make it happen. What I mean by that is when you do a proper développé, your body should be nice and tall, right? But if you want to get your leg up and so you hunch over and stuff, then who cares, you know? If the leg is turned in like this, well, that's not really what we're after. Same with grand battement. If you have to do that or this to get the leg up, we don't want you to have to do that. You want to make it as natural as possible, okay? So this one I'm going to challenge you to do with one hand on your bar. So you're going to have 7 and 8. You're going to use your arms too. Arms are going to go 1 and 2, out and 2. Tendus grand battement to the 5th arm goes side. 1 and 2. Bring it side for 2. Tendus grand battement, tendu down, bring it 5th. Remember, Tony heel to go passé, for 2. Arabesque lift. Now don't let your back go forward. We don't want the ironing board. Not that people use ironing boards anymore, or do they? I don't. I like a good steamer. Okay. Anyway, 1 and 2. Out for 2. Tendu, grand battement, down, and close. One last time to the side. Tendu, grand battement, tendu. Just that much, and we'll stop, and then we'll do the other leg, okay? Now, let's see what we have here. Let's get my Adagio. This is one of my favorite Adagios, favorite pieces of music, theme and variations. All right, here we go. 6, we have allongé, bring it in, and we open. Passé, slow. 1 and 2. Heel forward, knee back. 4, 2. Tendu, grand battement up. And 5th, arm open, stop. To the side, passé. 1 and 2. Keep the knee active. Side, invite the heel forward. Tendu, grand battement. Tendu, 5th. Toe heel, 1, 2. Reach. And tendu, grand battement. Tendu, close. Last time, 1. And it's out. Tendu. Lift it up and down. Finish there, okay? Now we're going to go to the other side. So in the tradition of classical ballet, when you have one hand on the bar and you're going to the other side, we turn turning in toward the bar. We don't go away from the bar. On occasion, there's a teacher who will give something really crazy and then you reverse and you go to the other side that way. But it's just so unnatural to me. But anyway, we turn in the face of the bar and then we open this way. Okay? Now, I meant to say this before. For my newer people, if you don't want to do one hand on the bar, you can still do it facing your bar, but you just don't kick the bar. All right? Don't let the leg go too high. All right? Here we go. Last one. We're almost done. 6. I'll turn it this way a little bit so I'm not completely twisted. We have 1 and 2. Heel forward. 4, 2. Tendu, grand battement up. Arm down. And to the side. Passé 1 and 2. To the side and 2. We go down to go up. And make 5th. I really have to turn. And toe heel, 2. Knee open, arabesque. Tendu, down. Kick it up and down. Close 5th. Last one. Toe heel, passé. Out. And it's down to go up. And you finish nice and tall. Cool. All right. So just to finish, for those who have the ability to do a little jump, we're going to do just simple 4 sautés in first. So we'll just jump 2 and 3, 4. Then we'll jump to second. Then we'll do 4 and 5th. And we'll stand tall and proud. Then, for those of you who remember from last week, we'll give, we'll take, and we'll show. Okay, so when we show, we want to show the most beautiful finishing position, the most perfect button, okay? All right, here we go. So let's do a little Petite allegro. So first, second, and then you can bring your either foot forward, because we'll get all of them in, 4 changements, and a good finish. All right? First position. Pliés, jump, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 5, 2, 3, 4, finish. Then we give, then we take, then we show off. Good, let's do that again. Give, take, show. Give to the people, take it back for yourself, and show the world how wonderful you are. Good, raise your right hand, turn it over, pat yourself on the back. It is a wonderful thing to give yourself some credit, to take care and take pride in what you've done today. Whether you dance the most beautiful you ever have or you feel like a troll, it is totally fine. And I hope you enjoyed the class. You know, these times are not easy to get through, so we're very blessed to have dance and movement. And you have to give yourself the credit and applaud yourself for taking class and staying active and not giving into the weight of the world, okay? So let's see if there's some questions. Let's see. Look over here. All right, amen. Be good to yourself. Thank you, Miss Senchi. You're gonna make me tear up. One of my first ballet teachers is watching. All right, anything? All right, and if there are no questions, no pressure. It's good. It's been a wonderful evening. I am winded, but I'm grateful for my sprung floor. I'm grateful for you all taking class, and we can end it there. All right? Take care. Be well. For those of you who would like to work more with me, follow me on social media, Instagram, Christopher Charles McDaniel, and I will be posting about some upcoming classes. I'm teaching beginner ballet via Zoom for Ballet Academy East, and all of that information will be on their website. And continue to support Dance Theater of Harlem. If you want to donate to our emergency relief fund, you can do that. You can just, support us by subscribing and liking our posts and following us on social media. All of that support means the world to us. So take care, be well, and do something good for yourself tonight. Congratulations. Bye, guys. And of course, there's that awkward moment where like the person's trying to end the live, and so they're this close. Love you guys so much. Take care.